Welcome to Real Kiwi Fishing. This week I'm out in the Little Left Sea. I'm actually on a solo today, and what I'm doing is basically going to go fish the shallows. Good time of year, big baits, big burley trail, and hopefully pick up a few kelpies. So yeah, out in the Little Left Sea today on a solo, and hopefully get into a few fish. Hopefully a little bit bigger than that, but that's my first bait. It's not a bad little fish, but we'll let him go, and hopefully get into something a little bit bigger, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Hooked up again, another little snapper. Nothing huge, not even really takeable, I'd say, but they're just starting to come on the bite. It's pretty much instantly. Those kelpies just basically live in the kelp back here, and they'll just be mooching around. And there'll be a few of them back there, but there should be some better ones in amongst them. Here you go, another nice little fish. Going back, no problem. Actually got myself a new little combo. It's an Akuma combo, and it's the little 55 Avenger reel. It's actually a bait feeder. So it's got that secondary drag system in it, and what I'm going to do is just let the fish run a bit before I strike. That's a great thing about those little bait runners, gives that fish time to grab the bait, run off and swallow it, preferably if it's big. And I'm just running the 2-piece X Factor, got a little nudge there. And the cool thing about this setup, oh, nice strike. The cool thing about this setup, you can actually soft bait with it as well. Chuck around a couple of little lures. So yeah, that was a nice little grab. You can see the bait feeder sort of working there. Let it run a bit and struck. Wound and struck. But yeah, you can actually even throw some little lures, 7 foot, 2-piece. The nice thing about it is graphite and e-glass, so they're quite a nice action to them, strong, got the cork grip. Yeah, so that's the new little combo, Avenger from Akuma, and what we'll do is, it's my first day using it, but I'll have a good crack over the day and over the next few weeks, and we'll have another look at it, see how well it's going. Here's my little rig that I was telling you about. So basically, just running braid. I actually quite like stray lining with braid. It's 10-pound braid, and I've got a leader of about 1.5 meters. It's about 25-pound fluoro, and then I've just got a little bead, Lumo bead, down at my hook, and there's my little sinker. It's probably about I'd say about a 1/12 actually. Quite small. Don't want it to sink too quick, get caught up in the weed. The fish are just sitting back there anyway, so they're grabbing it on the way down, which is good. But yeah, it's basically my rig. If I was a little bit shallow, I'd actually take that sinker off. There's a little bit of wind as well, cross shore wind. Don't want it sort of pull my bait and hook around and get caught up, so the sinker sort of helps it stay out there and in the strike zone. I'm actually hoping some kahawai will turn up in the burley trail. Quite like using those harder baits when I'm stray lining. Half yellows, even the head's cut down the middle. So yeah, I'm just hoping some kahawai will turn up. Give me some bit bigger baits, bit stronger baits that'll stay on the hook longer. You'll get a lot of the small fish even in the kelp, and you'll just let them pull at it, play with it. The bigger ones will be there. It'll be a little bit more wary, but once the smaller fish come in and have a tack on the bait and rip it apart and stuff like that, the bigger one will come in and grab that. Just bowl them out the way and smash your bait. Actually got quite a nice grab a couple of baits ago. Here's another one playing, so I'm just going to let it run. It's just a little fish. Hooked up. Just another little snapper. He wasn't actually running with it that time, but I could feel him just muffling the bait. Might even be lucky and it's a kahawai. It's looking like a kahawai. And it is perfect. Just what I asked for. How's that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to net it. Sometimes you get excited and you try and lift the fish up. The kahawai, and the thing with kahawai, they love jumping. Trying to throw that hook. And you just don't want to lose it. Especially when you sort of work hard for it. And there's nothing worse knowing when you need some good baits and you see it come up and then you just miss out on it. There you go. Just what I was asking for. And the cool thing about it, this half of it can be for my bait and the other half can be for lunch. Now remember also, even though it's a kahawai, you still want to kill it. You don't want to be cruel to your fish no matter what it is. So a couple of whacks on the head. And here's his nerves, and then I just get into the brain. And he's done. Perfect baits. And I love this time of day. The sun's just sort of coming up over the island there. Nice and cloudy. And there should be some good fish mooching in the back there. We've got a perfect day. Nice and cloudy. There's actually showers today, which is even better. Keeps most of the other fishers off the water. They don't like getting their hair wet. So that just gives me a lot more spots to go and have a play around in. and also keeps the noise down of the other boats. Still using pilchard at the moment. There's quite a lot of fish back there. Had a couple of nice grabs, but a lot of them are smaller fish. Ooh. Decided to use the old bait feeder, which I should be doing more often. That just showed you I wasn't using it before, didn't hook up. That time I did when I was using the bait feeder system. Just another little fish. Once those smaller fish pick up on your burley, they come in and take over, and that's when those big kahawai baits, awesome. But I'll just finish up on this pilchard and then I'll get into some kahawai baits. Oh, hooked up. Something a little bit better. Still not big, but the better ones are definitely starting to turn up in that burley trail. And I've gone to the kahawai. A lot of little ones back there, and I'm just letting them chew on it. It's a lot better fish than what I've been catching. It's not a big fish, but I'll use the net just to be safe. There you go, he's not a bad fish. He's not huge, but a good eater. There you go, he's probably about, he'd be close to maybe 50 centimetres, around that sort of 46, 47. It's a nice fish, just shows you. They're sitting there in that burley trail, just got to wait for them to come and grab that bait. What I was doing was just, utilising that bait feeder on that little Okuma Avenger. There's the kahawai bait, just dispatch him. Put him out of his misery. Nice little kelpie. He's not that dark, but he's definitely a kelpie. He's going in the bin for dinner. So I'll just get a fresh bit of kahawai on. I've just cut it into strips as usual. Just through the meat, out through the skin, that's it. And what's happening is the little fish are coming in, grabbing it, pulling it. Got the bait feeder system going, and it stops. Get a couple of little runs and stops. You just let that happen. It's no use striking at those smaller fish. You're just going to be catching small fish. Those bigger ones will be there, just sort of mooching around, seeing all the action and sort of hanging back, and then once those fish come in, start attacking it, having a good go at it. You'll get about 4, 5, 6 little fish turning up, and they'll be all munching on it, and the big one will just come through, bang, just smash them out the way and swallow your bait. Get another fresh bait out. It's not that deep. I've got the burley straight down the back here, and I know if I was just dropping my baits down the back, I'll just be getting hammered with little fish. So I always quite like sort of casting back about that sort of 20 metres, 10, 20 metres, because those bigger fish are quite shy. It's quite overcast, which is good, and they'll come in and mooch in around this area in the shallows, and hopefully there's a couple more like that. Hooked up again. Oh, dropped them. Now the great thing is, because I got that kahawai on there, I know there's still bait there. So I've still got it in the strike zone. Fish got a little bit excited there. And there'll be some more coming over to have a look what's going on. The cool thing is, see, I've had heaps of strikes, heaps of bites, but I know that kahawai's still there, that kahawai bait. And a lot of times I'll even come in and eat the skin. You just got a little bit of skin, a little bit of meat, but that's what they're eating out of the burley. They're just eating those little bits of minced up fish. What I do, because it's not deep, cast back, hits the water, and then I let a couple of, 1 or 2 bits of line out like that, flick the bail wire over, and then what happens is that bait will just slowly filter down, the line will tighten up a bit, and the fish will come in and hopefully grab it on that drop. If I keep letting line out, my line's just going to loop around, do a big loop in the current, and I'm not going to feel any bites. Now I've got a good piece of bait on now, so I'll just let those smaller fish bite. Because I've got it in that bait feeder mode, if I want to wind up a bit of slack, I just roll the spool, so I'm not constantly having to click it in and out of gear. Always ready for that hit, and it just keeps everything nice and tight, ready for that strike. Hooked up again. Another small fish, but this one actually might be a keeper. There you go. Another little kelpie. Now he's actually swallowed that, and I'd say he's probably around that 33, 34, which I normally throw back. But because he swallowed it, he's bleeding. I'm going to measure him, because there's no use throwing him back. He's just going to die. So I'll measure him. Now there you go, here he is. He's got his nose on the board there. And he's 30, 31, 32, 32 and a half. Now that's a real small fish, and I don't like taking fish that size. I pretty much have a limit on my boat of 35, but because he's bleeding and he's swallowed the hook down, he's pretty much knackered. If I let him go, he's gonna die, and it's a waste of a fish, so I might as well take it home and eat it. So we'll put him out of his misery, chuck him in the bin. Well, pretty much gonna call it a day. It's a pretty cool day, a little bit slow, but hey, can't come out and catch fish all the time, can't win them all, but I had a blast. Cool solo sesh, got a few in the bin for me and the family, so that's all I need. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next time, tight lines. Thanks for watching another great day out fishing with Real Kiwi Fishing. And you can also find more of my movies on my YouTube channel, Real Kiwi Fishing.